right, it is time for some TV musings, what I have been watching wrap up. Hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I'm super excited to be here today and to share with you this video. This is going to be some of the TV shows that I've been watching that are part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Star Wars shows that I have been watching. Some of these are recent releases, some of these have been around for a while. One of them is has been around for a long while. And yeah, so let's just get to it. I will admit that these are probably going to be super brief because mostly they are shows that I really enjoyed, and I don't know if I have too much to say, but we shall see how things go. First up, and the most recent one that I finished was Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel. So this is part of we're going to start with the Marvel shows. So this is part of I don't know if it's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm trying to remember. There was a light connection. So this centers on someone who is sort of enamored with the character of Captain Marvel. And I really enjoyed this one. It was so great to see a female lead in a superhero show. She is a high school student at the time. There are lots of great friendships and relationships. There's lots of family history, family relationships, family responsibility, and it was just so good. I loved every episode. I loved all the characters. It is quite, it's so funny. Like, I feel like from this, it has a sort of, I think one of does this one have bubblegum? One of them had bubblegum on them. And I feel like it makes it look a little more lighthearted than it is, because it does have quite a strong history piece to it as well, that I thought was fabulous. So it was a real treat. It was a real treat to watch. I loved the character. The actor is Canadian. Yes, she's Canadian. I know I mentioned that like almost any time that there's an actor that's Canadian, and I do. I just can't help it. But Ms. Marvel, it's so hard because it sort of stems from Captain Marvel. It's a little tough to go about where things are. Man, I would just say watch it. I really enjoyed it. I really liked her friends, her family, the sense of identity, the sense of curiosity, wanting to know more, wanting to do something, wanting to be really lean into, something. There was a lot going for this one, and I thought it delivered on all levels. So I really enjoyed it, highly recommend it, obviously, and am looking forward to, I don't know if there's going to be more. Usually with the Marvel shows, they're sort of like one season, like limited season, and sometimes they're situated between movies and stuff like that. This one I'm not sure, and I didn't look it up. I don't want to know too much, but I don't think you have to have seen Captain Marvel. Like, Captain Marvel is a strong presence in terms of she is her inspiration, but I don't think you have to see it, but I do feel like it does have a light connection to the film series. But yeah, highly recommend, definitely check it out. Let me know if you've seen it. Also a female lead, and this one is sort of going way back. I put these in a different order. Is I also went and rewatched Agent Carter. So this one follows Peggy Carter, who is a character from mostly the earlier Captain America film, like the first Captain America film. And so these are historically set, and it was a 2-season show, and I decided to watch it because I'm trying to watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe in internal chronological order. So after Captain America comes this, and then Captain Marvel, and then Iron Man. So far I am just seeing Captain America, Agent Carter, and Captain Marvel. So next for me is Iron Man. It's going to be long. I'm not going to watch all of the TV series, but I thought I would watch Agent Carter because I really like Agent Carter as a character, and I watched it during my physiotherapy. It was a rewatch for me, so I knew the parts and the characters that I was more invested in. It is more of an espionage mystery type of series plus historical. And I thought there were lots of great characters. I like the people that she worked with. There are some people that you're not supposed to like. It is set in the 40s. It is definitely shows how women were not as accepted in the workplace and talked down to a lot, and but also how that meant she could often be not seen as a threat and would be able to get more information, than otherwise noted. So I thought it played that pretty well, and but also showed the imbalance and the unacceptance as but also like the but she was always able to, or almost always would be a little too strong. I loved the I just really liked her character a lot. I like her character in the Marvel movies, so this was a great way to see more of that. So I'm glad I rewatched it. It was a fun rewatch, and I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it on rewatch. I think the two seasons were a bit far apart from each other, and where it fits in the universe in terms of what the films were doing was a bit off kilter. But now that everything generally is available streaming, you can pick and choose which chronology you want to choose. And so I watched that, and then this, I have no idea where this fits in, to be honest. I actually really don't. But I also watched Hawkeye. Oh, that really whites out. Do I have a different one? Okay, Hawkeye. Is that better? That looks better. I loved this. This, along with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, might be my favorite. Oh, and Ms. Marvel. Okay, all of those are my favorites. All of them are number one. Actually, I don't want to pick a number one from all of them. I like all of them in different ways. But I absolutely loved Hawkeye so very much. Again, this one, it features Hawkeye, but I would actually say, and I can't remember her character's name, she actually feels like the protagonist. She is someone who looks up to Hawkeye. Actually, it's an interesting similarity to Ms. Marvel in that sense. She really looks up to Hawkeye, how he is not a superhero, but he's part of the Avengers. He's just very skilled at what he does, but he's just a regular person. And so that is her inspiration to train and learn archery, and sort of feeds into how she wants to live her life. And I feel like it's very, very rare that we see a female character inspired by something that a man does, especially physically, and then pursues that with like strong intensity and allows them to shape the person that they want to be, and to have that be, for me, I loved seeing that, because I love seeing women inspired by other women, for like without question, as we see actually in Ms. Marvel. But I feel like this dynamic we almost never see. I can't, if you can think of any examples, feel free to share them for me. Share them in the comments below, because I just feel like it's something you don't see. We often get a gender divide, and I'm like, you can be inspired by anyone, any moment, any action, anything you see, hear, feel. And I just feel like this one just really spoke to me from that perspective. I also liked all of the characters in this one. I liked how Hawkeye himself is very guarded and very, and she just sort of just doesn't really. It's weird, because in some ways I feel like she's a bit over the top in terms of like getting into his space a little bit, but on the other hand, she's just insistent. Like, she's never malicious. She's just like, no, I'm gonna call you. No, I'm gonna show up. No, and he's just like, oh gosh, can we just stop this? So anyway, so it's a great, especially if you like sort of like mentor-mentee type dynamics. I thought it was great for that. I really, really enjoyed it. It was a huge highlight. I'm surprised. I think I didn't take too long to watch this one. It does have a bit of a holiday theme, you can see here. So if you're waiting, if you want to hold something that has a bit of holiday spirit to it, like Christmas holiday spirit, it is sort of set in the Christmas season. So, and it's a bit short. I think most of the Marvel ones are between 6 and 8. I can't remember. So that one, those were all big wins, and I was thrilled to see them. So switching from Marvel to Star Wars, I also watched Whoops, I went too far. I also watched the book of Boba Fett. So this one, I wasn't quite sure about how I was going to respond to it. Boba Fett is such an interesting character, but there is a character with so much mystique. So the whole idea, and this is not, I am not coming up with this idea. This is a lot of people I've heard say this. One of the challenges with this one is that when you start to reveal the mystique of someone, is it still interesting? So that is a question about that. I also wasn't entirely sure where in the timeline in the Star Wars universe that this fit in, but I just went into it and I decided to watch it. I did decide to watch it a little bit after either it had finished or several episodes had been released, and I think that is my preferred way to do it. And I am glad that I did it with this one, because there was an episode in the middle that wasn't that great, but I just went to the next one, and by the next one I was back into the rhythm of things. I really like the actor who plays Boba Fett. I still remember seeing him in Once Were Warriors in such a powerful, compelling, and just honestly terrifying performance. So I kind of always associate him with that, but I did like him as Boba Fett, but again, the character is a bit hard to access. I also feel like one of the big themes with this one is Boba Fett is trying to kind of take over a sort of area that's been run by a crime syndicate, and that just is not my thing. Like the whole power dynamic and geography and crime lords, and I don't feel like, even though it is a part of the Star Wars universe in different ways, it's usually a bit more external as opposed to the focus. And I kind of was always like, why is he doing this? What is going on? What is the impact of this? What is the desire here? Can one person do all of this? And so that leads to some interesting questions that are answered, and some other stuff that I felt like maybe wasn't as addressed. But it was okay. Like, it wasn't, in terms of the Star Wars shows, it wasn't my favorite, but I am glad that I got to it, and I did like a fair amount of the characters, so it was a good watch. It was a solid watch, but I think it's also that so many of the shows have been so great that it just didn't quite hit it as much as the other ones, but I am glad that I stuck with it. I also watched Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is the one that I don't really have too much to say about it, because I just really, 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 really loved it. It's just such a special thing to be able to watch a show about a character that I feel like I've known my entire life, like from the original Star Wars, from Obi-Wan Kenobi being in those shows, to now, to him being in, the prequel series, and then now having a show about him now. And Ewan McGregor is so good as Obi-Wan. Now the prequel series, I like the first one, but not the second two, and I feel very strong in that opinion and perspective, and everyone has their own opinion, but I think he's just a great choice as Obi-Wan. This one did take me a little bit to win me over, because of the story that it follows. I felt was I was just a little surprised at some of the things, and so I got really excited about where it looked like it was going, and then there were some things I was like, oh, this is something that I want to know about, but I don't know if I want to know about it in this way. And then there were other things that I didn't expect to happen that I was like, oh my gosh, that is amazing, or that is so true, or of course it would be like that. And I felt, so I'm not going to say any specifics about this one, because I felt like how they did it, and what they focused on, and the moments that they pulled from, and the way that they incorporated things, and the story of the show itself is great, but then what it pulls and brings and revisits and brings forward and continues from the Star Wars universe, I mean, spot on. I just was spot on, and so I was very, very happy to have watched it. and I really enjoyed it. I think I did start that one on the day it started because it's Obi-Wan, but then I sort of like waited 2 weeks so that I could watch two in a row. I don't tend to watch an entire series at a time, but I do like the opportunity to watch two in a row, and I also don't always like being caught up because of what happened during the Book of Boba Fett, where there was an episode that wasn't that great, or that I didn't enjoy as much, and to be able to just go to the next one so that you're not left with the one that wasn't your favorite, I think is often a really good tactic. At least I found it for me, it's been successful in ensuring that I continue with something instead of leaving something hanging. So anyway, those are the shows that I have watched from the Marvel universe and the Star Wars universe. I know that there is one about Andor coming up I don't know when this video comes up. It actually might even already be released at this point. So there are definitely a bunch that I have not been, did the light flicker? Was that just me? There are a bunch that I haven't watched yet, so I still have a lot to enjoy. I think I might be caught up with Star Wars, the live action stuff. I haven't watched any of the animated. Oh, wow. Okay, I guess it's time to wrap this up. So anyway, let me know, have you watched any of these shows? Did you enjoy them? What are you watching recently? And I'll be back soon with another video. Wow. Again. Okay, third time. Let's wrap up.